It is a huge issue, and I know that it can be solved when you have the right information. So, all right, there we go. I hope you can see me also. Hello. All right, so welcome. My name is Kathy Ketterling, and I am so excited that you have come to spend a little bit of time with me on resolving weight loss resistance. And so, just as an introduction, I've been studying natural health for years, and just even in the last 3 or 4 years, there's just been so many amazing new things that have been discovered, researched, and come out that there's just no reason that we can't be our most healthy and most vibrant self these days. There's absolutely fabulous ways to heal your body and to really live the life that you want to live in a body that actually functions like you want it to function, okay? And so tonight I'm going to be going over some things. Yay. Okay, so let's see if we can get this. All right, so I want to go over the 5 areas to help you really create a healthy body. And one of the first things is what causes weight gain. To really understand that is going to be phenomenal and instrumental to what we're doing here. Number 2 is how to fix your metabolism. We've just done things over the years that probably have made our metabolism so much slower than it used to be. And fixing it is one of the keys to, of course, losing weight and maintaining amazing health. I also want to help you restore confidence in yourself and in your body, because if you feel good and you look good and you know it deep down inside, then guess what? It's going to show, right? And number 4, nutrition and lifestyle are really the absolute foundation that this is built upon. And then the last thing is addressing toxins, which is the 5th thing, but not necessarily the least important. Because one thing I know is that we have to heal our cell to get well. When we really address our body on a cellular level, that is when we can find and get magic to happen in our bodies. So super duper exciting. All right, next page. So 3 main causes of weight gain that I want to address here tonight: insulin resistance, hormone imbalance, and slow metabolism. So one thing I know for sure is, especially as a country, we eat way too many carbohydrates, way too much sugar. And that over time has completely destroyed our health. It has destroyed our bodies. It's increasing the amount of disease. When I do work in a pharmacy, I am a pharmacist, been a pharmacist for over 20 years. And in that process of filling prescriptions day in, day out for many years, it was just disheartening and saddening to me how all I was doing is dispensing more and more pills, and then more medications came out, and more pills and more pills. And people weren't getting better, and they still aren't when they rely solely on prescriptions to help them. Yes, prescriptions have their place, and I'm not going to say that they don't, because they absolutely do. But to just rely on that to be healthy is never going to bring you full, true health. It really isn't. So insulin resistance is huge, and that is probably really one of the hugest things that's causing you to not lose weight. So what happens is insulin, hormone secreted by the pancreas. What happens is when we eat, we digest carbohydrates. That goes into our bloodstream as sugar when it's broken down. And so in order for us to not get really sick, in order for us to be healthy, our body has to produce insulin from the pancreas. It's released into our bloodstream because the insulin is what will take and hook onto the cell, and it'll hook onto the sugar molecule and take the sugar from the bloodstream into the cell where it's able to be utilized as energy. When there's something that happens that causes our cell receptors to not attach to that insulin so the sugar can come in, that's when we get insulin resistance. And there are so many reasons why. And when you go to, let's say you go to the doctor and you get a blood test and he says, oh my gosh, your blood sugar's high, then, they instantly know you have insulin resistance, right? Or potential for diabetes. Well, when I see that, I think of it as, oh my gosh, the cell is telling me something very important. A doctor typically will think, oh my goodness, we need to lower this blood sugar in order to keep this person healthy. Well, I want to know, why was it high in the first place? Why is it insulin resistant? Why is it not connecting to the cell? And in this process also, our pancreas is pumping out more and more and more insulin because it's thinking, well, there must not be enough insulin. There must not be enough insulin because we're not getting the blood sugar down. And that's just causing excess work on the pancreas over time as well. So you get a double whammy there. Extra stress on your pancreas, and really you have a signal from your cell that, hey, something is not right. There's something broken here that needs to be fixed. And other ways that we gain weight is when our hormones are out of balance, when we have too much or not enough estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and thyroid hormone. When those hormones are out of balance, our metabolism gets out of whack, and it can slow down and cause definite weight gain. And what's really interesting too is that all of those hormones work together, and there's really a feedback loop between all of them, and they're intricately tied to each other. And so when one is out of balance, it's going to throw the others out of balance, which can really make it seem like we're really chasing our tail when we try to fix this. Then this one goes haywire, we try to fix that, and this, it seems like we can never get it completely under control. So finding a way to lower our inflammation and balance our hormones is super instrumental in weight loss. And then figuring out why we have a slow metabolism. There can be a lot of things dieting over the years. I know I was on a diet, I think mentally every day since I was 8 years old. I grew up and my mom was always on a diet. Even though she never seemed overweight to me, I saw it all the time. And even though a lot of the time when I was a kid I was thin, I still had that programming. And so then fast forward to college, I was doing things that my metabolism did not like, started to gain a bunch of weight, and then I couldn't figure out why. And then ever since then, I was on a diet every day since college. And it's been so nice and so freeing to finally break that habit, break that mold, and actually have results in my life and in my health. And now I get to bring all this knowledge to you so that I can help you do the same, because I know if I can do it, that you can do it as well. Okay, so how do we make energy? It's important to understand this because our body really makes energy inside of our cells with these little tiny organelles called mitochondria. And mitochondria are the little powerhouses that use either sugar or fat. And actually, it's not directly fat, it's actually ketones. So the mitochondria are using fat or ketones to burn for energy so that we can stay alive. If we ever had a moment where all of our mitochondria were not producing energy, we would be dead. So just to show you that that is a process that's going on every second in our bodies to keep us alive. And the healthier your mitochondria are, means the healthier your cells are, which means the healthier our bodies are. So here's the really interesting thing. We can burn fat or we can burn sugar. So burning sugar is what most of us do, like 99.9% of the world, or Americans especially, we're burning sugar for fuel. And this can cause a whole host of issues. It is not as clean of an energy source. It's kind of like burning unleaded fuel instead of premium octane fuel or jet fuel, right? So there's a lot more toxins and byproducts that our cell has to deal with and clean up after burning it. So it's a dirty burn. If our cells are burning ketones for energy, it's very clean. It's like It's like burning jet fuel. There's nothing left because it burns like 100%. Burning fat for fuel also is much more, there's a lot more energy per molecule of fat, per molecule of fuel source, right? So if you're burning this much sugar and this much fat, well, you're going to get probably like 20 or 100 times the energy out of this much versus this much sugar. So it's cleaner, it's much more efficient, and it's a better way to burn fat, or to make energy, I mean. So really, we're either a sugar burner or a fat burner, and most of us are sugar burners. And when we can do some things to take our metabolism and shift it over to a fat-burning metabolism, that is when we can actually have some amazing magic happen. We are healthier. We reduce inflammation. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Like tons and tons and tons of inflammation will be reduced if we're burning ketones for fuel versus sugar. And in this process, it can take some time for that to happen, but if you can stick with it and really commit to it, you will find you have so much more energy, so much more clarity, more balanced hormones, and your body actually has more of an opportunity to heal itself. So another really cool thing is when you have a fat-burning metabolism, guess what? When you are finished digesting the food that you've eaten and you've went through all of those calories, guess what fuel source your body's going to use for energy? Body fat. Who doesn't want to burn body fat in the middle of your, in between meals? I do. And when I converted my metabolism to this, oh my goodness, it's awesome. You don't get the highs and lows of blood sugar. You don't get that hunger and needing to eat all of the time. It's really a healing of your metabolism, and I will go into more of that in just a few minutes. So one of the best ways to convert your metabolism from sugar burning to fat burning is the ketogenic diet. And I know it's becoming really popular right now, and it really seems like a fad diet, but I want to tell you it is not a fad diet. It has been something that, honestly, we've done it for millions of years. However long there's been humans on the earth, ketogenic diet has really been, it's been present at some point. And even 100 years ago, at the turn of the 19th century, ketogenic diet was, even then, it was known to be helpful. They were using it to help people control seizures even back then. And then we got into this industrial age and packaged foods and processed foods and all these weird oils. And as our life just got faster and faster and we just created more and more industry, we really lost touch with what was healthy for our bodies. Because I remember my own grandma. I was astounded a couple of times in high school because she would eat eggs for breakfast, eggs and bacon like every day. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, Grandma, well, how can you eat eggs and bacon? She was thin. She lived until she was 97 years old. She never got dementia, never got Alzheimer's. She was never sick, hardly ever. And so now I think back and I'm like, oh my God, Grandma knew what she was doing. Thank God she didn't listen to eat margarine and eat low fat. She didn't. She kept doing what she was doing. And that is like proof. Yeah, that's only one person, but it's happened over and over again. And when we look back to what we did even 50 years ago, it was so much healthier than what we've been doing even in the last 20 years. So what is a ketogenic diet? A ketogenic diet is a higher fat diet. Yay, you get to eat fat again. And ketogenic diet is lower or low carbohydrate, not excess carbohydrates. It's low carb and moderate protein. We want to make sure that we don't eat excess protein. There's a lot of diets that have come out, high protein, this or that. And that is just hard on your kidneys. And guess what? If you eat more protein than your body can really handle at one time, your body's going to convert it to sugar. And then guess what? It's just like eating a candy bar. So if you eat a steak this big, then guess what? You're probably going to convert over half of that to sugar. And then you just undid the favor that you were trying to do for yourself when you overeat protein. So why would we want to eat keto? Turns you into a fat burner, which is awesome. The main reason why I turned to keto is it lowered my inflammation. When you keep your inflammation low, your body does not age as fast. It ages slower. You don't get chronic diseases, or it takes so much longer to get them. It gives your body the opportunity to heal things that need healed, because if your body's not over here dealing with all this inflammation from massive carbohydrate intake, then it can work on maybe some of the cells that aren't acting quite right, and you can reduce the incidence of different kinds of cancers, or a lot of cancers, because your immune system is on top of things. That's really one of the ways we get cancer, is our immune system is so busy being sidetracked, doing other things, that it doesn't see these cells that are screwed up that need to be taken care of, dismantled, and destroyed, basically. And that's one of, like, a huge reason why I absolutely love ketogenic diet. And probably the next question you have is fat okay to eat? For so long they pounded into our head that, eat low fat, that's the way you're going to prevent heart disease, and it's going to lower your cholesterol. And it actually, honest to God, did the opposite. These weird fake fats caused inflammation, and that's what is causing the heart attacks and the strokes. And when our body doesn't have enough of the right kind of fats, every time a cell divides and it creates a new cell, because that's another thing that's going on every second. 100,000 cells just died, 100,000 new ones were just created. And in that instant, what are you creating those new cells with in those cell walls? Are you creating them with margarine? Because the cell wall is a lipid bilayer, which means it's 2 layers of fat and some protein in between. Are you creating that layer with McDonald's French fry fat, with trans fats, or with margarine? Or are you doing it with really good, healthy, saturated fats that come from healthy animals, or from coconut oil, avocados, from really good, healthy sources? That is a really important question to ask yourself. And the thing is we need really good, healthy fats for our brain to function properly, and every cell in our body. And eating fat will not make you fat. There is literally no insulin response when you eat fat. If you just took a scoop of coconut oil, you're not going to get an insulin response. Scoop of sugar, huge insulin response. Inflammatory, not inflammatory. It's as simple as that. Okay, so ketogenic diet, protein is going to be between 40 to 60 grams a day. Unless you're an athlete, then it's going to be a little bit more. Fat grams, I don't normally count those as much, because when I count protein and carbs, that's what I'm most worried about. It's like the other calories from your diet will come from fat. Probably between 80 to 120, maybe 160 grams of fat. Sounds like a lot, I know, but it's really not once you get used to it. Carbohydrates, we really want to keep carbohydrates to around 40 to 50 grams. Yes, some people are promoting, 30, 20, 10 grams a day. Well, you can do 10 grams of carbs a day for a while, then 20 grams. But the thing is if you stay super low in carbs like that, it's not going to be too awful long before your body goes into starvation mode, and then your metabolism starts slowing down again, because it thinks it's starving. And then, you've got that problem again of the slow metabolism, not losing fat. So really, and it can also disrupt your hormones, because you don't have enough fat to create the cholesterol, which is needed for hormones. And since I just mentioned cholesterol, it's a good time for me to just let you know, cholesterol is really good. We need cholesterol, and here's why. Cholesterol is the building block for all of our hormones. No cholesterol equals no hormones. And honest to goodness, if you go along through life and your cholesterol, your doctor checks it, and it's in the good range, and then it starts creeping up, that is an indicator to you have an inflammatory process going on. And I actually kind of learned this the hard way. I won't go into that, but here's the thing. I will tell you this for sure. If your cholesterol has been low for your life and then all of a sudden it shoots way up, you better start going looking for something serious in your body, because let me tell you, you have something super serious going on. And most doctors are like, oh, well, we need to lower your cholesterol. And it's like, no, you need to find out what the heck is going on, what inflammatory process is going on, and fix that. And then guess what? Your cholesterol is going to heal itself. It's true. True, true, true. And what's interesting is that's not stuff I learned in pharmacy school. A few years ago, I knew I needed to get more education so that I could do this information and do this kind of work that I want to do. I knew I needed more education. So I went and attended a professional program through the University of South Florida, their medical school there, and it's an anti-aging and functional medicine. I got a fellowship in that. And what's amazing is I was taught all these different natural ways that are based by studies, and they found, results that actually work, evidence-based medicine, but in the natural area of our health instead of just the prescription area. And so that was a really exciting time for me to get that information and get that education so that I really feel confident in bringing this information to all of you. So one of the things about a ketogenic diet is a lot of people do keto all the time. Honestly, if you look back in history, ketogenic diet was not done all the time. It was done in cycles. It was done for periods of time. In the summer, when there were more fruits and vegetables available, people ate more carbohydrates. And in the wintertime, especially before canning and things like that, that we ate less because we had less carbohydrates available to us, right? We didn't have refrigerators, freezers, canning, and all of that. So just in knowing that, it's like, okay, so in the wintertime, when there's less light, it's easier to eat the more dense calories, eat a little bit more protein, definitely eat more fat, less carbohydrates. And then in the summertime, when fruit is in season, that's more of a time to increase your carbohydrate intake, and your body will respond more to it. What's interesting is when we eat fruit out of season, our body doesn't really know how to respond to it quite as well as when it's in season where we're living in the summer or when it's in season. So that is really huge. So I never have my clients stay in ketosis all of the time. And another reason for that is our body is adaptive, right? Its main goal is to keep us alive. And in keeping us alive, our body is like constantly adapting to things. And if you do the same thing every day, in and out and in and out, it gets used to that. And our body likes to get lazy because it's like, oh, I got this down. This is a piece of cake. I don't have to work so hard. So in knowing that our body does that, guess what? You got to vary your diet. So when I work with clients, we vary the diet seasonally, and we also vary it even weekly or monthly if we need to, and especially weekly. I very much am a proponent for having a higher carb day one day a week. And this isn't go off the rails, eat an entire pizza. I'm not talking about that, but I'm just saying higher carbohydrates. And if you're usually eating 40 to 45, you might go 60 to 80 grams of carbs one day a week, because it just replenishes a little bit of your glycogen stores, and it signals to your body, hey, everything is okay. There is an abundance. We are good. We can continue to keep burning the body fat in between meals, just like we were doing. That is huge. That is absolutely huge. And doing that will keep you from getting in that stalling of weight loss where you'll like lose 10 pounds and then you're stuck for 2 months. It's amazing. Okay, so when I started doing the ketogenic diet and I started seeing results, I started to restore so much confidence in myself. I went from diet to diet to diet, which now when I look back, that really served me because now I know so much about so many of them, and I tried so many of them. but it was a really kind of a killer on my self-confidence because I'd try this and I'd fail and I'd try that and I'd fail, lose 5 pounds, gain 10 pounds. I mean, it was that kind of roller coaster. And after a while, you're just like, God, nothing ever works for me and this just sucks. And the thing that's sad is that can also go into other areas of your life. So if you start to feel a lack of success with your health, well, maybe you're not as confident in your personal relationships. Maybe you start to get less confident at work or, just in doing other things. And when we start losing confidence in one area, believe me, it is going to start spreading and you may not even realize it. And so I want to help you figure out how you can heal your metabolism so that you get your confidence back and you know that you are in control of your body. You are a sovereign being. What you say goes. I want you to be able to walk past that pile of donuts and look at them, if you want to look at them, and go, okay, do I really want this today? Is this helpful for my goals, or will it set me back? And if you're okay with it setting you back, then you might have one once in a while. But for the most part, you're going to be like, there's no way I'm touching that. There's just no way. Why would I, right? You just wouldn't, because you know it's going to take you so far from where you really want to be. And when you can walk by and have no reaction, no physical draw to the donuts or cookies or cake, and to not have your blood sugar go, sometimes when we see food, it's like our body goes, oh, hey, I really want that. So, you get these hormone responses, and then all of a sudden you're hungry for no reason. You're like, oh, and you get cravings, right? I want you to be able to have control of your body again, which would be, it's amazing. When you are not controlled by cravings, by your mood, by your attitude, and by what's sitting right there in front of you, then that's when you know you can get healthy. You are healthy, you're making the right choices, and then you can decide occasionally when you want to have a splurge or a celebration or something like that, because there's things that are meant to be celebrated and splurged upon, but that is once a month or twice a year. It's not, once a month, once a week, once a day, 3 times a day, because that's what happens. Once we splurge too often, it becomes a habit, and then guess what? I was discussing this with a client yesterday or 2 days ago. It is so interesting how a bad habit, you can create a bad habit 2 seconds flat, just like that. A good habit, oh my gosh, probably because we're like, I'm trying to create a new habit. It seems like it takes, honestly, like 63 days to create a new habit. And that just sounds like, oh my God, how am I ever going to go that long, right? Well, you can do it. I've done it. You can do it. But here's the thing. Having your body and your blood sugar and your hormones on your side is going to make that so much easier. So much easier. It's not even funny. Enough said about that, I think. Another part of restoring confidence is your mindset, working on keeping a positive outlook. We've known for years the people that have the more positive outlook live longer. Well, it's not always easy to have a positive outlook, and we often have to work on it. But here's the thing. In the morning, if you could start your morning with a few moments of just taking a breath and connecting with your own heart, just like this. And then pick up a good book, something motivating, something that you like. Read a good book for 5 minutes. That can change your vibration, change your mood, change your attitude. Maybe it's listen to a YouTube video that you love, somebody that you like. Could be a Tony Robbins or a motivating person like that, or it could be, whatever. That can really help you. Listening to your favorite song, that is another motivating thing. If you get up and turn on some really good music and kind of get jazzing around, oh my gosh, your day is going to go so much better than if you're hitting the snooze 20 times, you come flying out of bed. I mean, we've all been there, right? Come flying out of bed and you stub your toe and you're like, oh my God, that hurts so bad. And then you go in the closet and what you really wanted to wear that day is in the dirty clothes. So you're trying to find something else to wear. And then you look at your hair and it's sticking straight up like this and you don't have time to curl it. And then you get in, you're putting on your makeup and you're like, oh my God, my mascara just ran out, or my eyeliner broke, or whatever. It's just like your day can just keep going in this spiral. And then 10 minutes later, you're like trying to run out the door and you're going to be late. And then you hit every red light on the way to work, or you get pulled over by a cop or something. There's just so many things that can go haywire. But when you start your day on purpose with something a little bit positive, that will also give back and pay it forward throughout your day. I cannot even put enough emphasis even on that. So remember, it is so easy to create a bad habit, and we really need to be on the alert of when we're doing that. And creating new habits is not always easy, but it can be done. It can be done. You just stick to it. You put notes in your phone, get your phone out and put little alarms in there, and just know that you're going to keep doing it. You're going to keep, getting out of your chair once every hour to stretch your legs so that you get more exercise. You're going to drink a certain amount of water so that you're hydrated. You're going to not eat candy bars at work. You're going to take a good healthy food bar for if you absolutely need it. Being prepared a little bit in advance goes so far, it's not even funny. And here's another really great benefit to keto that I forgot to mention earlier, and I stuck it on here. Keto can really help improve your brain. When you have less inflammation, especially in the morning, you have more energy, you have more clarity in your brain, in your memory, in your recall. And I'll tell you what, having a fast, sharp mind in the morning, oh my goodness, who doesn't want that? You want that, right? And let me tell you, eating a great big huge bowl of oatmeal in the morning with all those carbohydrates and all that inflammation is totally going to cause brain fog, screw up your hormones, and massively impact your blood sugar and inflammation. So keto can massively help fix that. So awesome. Keys to success. And I totally spelled success wrong. Dang. Maybe we can fix it. There we go. Okay, so preparing yourself for success. Sometimes we have to do a few things in advance. And if we do them, oh my goodness, everything works out so much better. All right, so I use Sundays as a prep day whenever I'm going to especially have a busy week. There's some things you can do on Sunday that will set your week up for success. Things like buying a bunch of veggies, you bring them home, you wash them all up and you chop them, put them into containers, and then guess what? It's so much easier to eat healthy, to make a salad, to eat, like if you're going to eat hummus or guacamole, you can use carrots to dip it with, or celery instead of chips, right? But it's much easier if they're so available right there, much harder than, oh, I got to scrub everything every night and clean it up. So if you do a little bit of prep like that on Sunday, boom, 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 amazing week. Another thing you can do is cook some veggies in advance. Often, especially in the winter, we will roast a bunch of veggies in the oven, and then they're good for 3 days, right? And so we put them on, use them as a side dish, or put them in our salads, put them in soups, whatever it is. But guess what? They're right there and they're handy. So much easier sometimes if you just get to warm them and then cook some meat or something like that. Your dinner is easier and planned, and it doesn't have to be the whole long drawn out, take 2 hours to cook dinner every night. Not into that. But doing an hour of prep on Sunday is going to be huge. And then if you do need a snack, having really healthy snacks, ketogenic bars are a really great thing. Raw nuts and seeds are really great. If they're roasted, that's okay too. I prefer raw, but those are also a really good snack. But nutrition is super important. We really are what we eat. And if we're eating out and eating McDonald's all the time or eating fast food, Oh my goodness, that's what our cells are going to have to build from. And I don't want your cells to build from that. At least not more than once a week, you know, whatever you can do to eat healthy. Because here's the thing, one other thing I did for about 15 years is I would think, oh, well, if I go to the gym for an hour and a half tonight, then I can eat pizza because I will have burned off all these extra calories. Well, here is the bad news. All calories are not equal. We used to think, and I read a book on this, a calorie is a calorie. If you intake 100 calories and then if you get on the treadmill and burn that 100 calories, you're even. Well, you know what? That is just not true. That is 100% not true because they have studied some tribes in Africa. And these guys will literally not eat anything all day. They go out and they're hunting and they're gathering, whatever. They're going out all day long to get and provide food for their family. And then they come home at night and they all get to eat together. And what's interesting is you would think that these guys would be starving to death all day, right? They've eaten nothing all day. Well, guess what? Their metabolism slows down and will start burning some of the body fat. But if they're really super lean and there's not as much body fat left over, you know, then their metabolism will innately slow down because if it doesn't, it's going to burn up their muscle and you know, they're going to waste away. And guess what? They don't do that. They have strong muscles and they're super healthy and they're not, their inflammation is super low. And so it was really neat. My mentor actually witnessed this. He went and did some work with some tribes in Africa and he said, you know, it's amazing the energy that these guys have. But when we tested their metabolism, it did slow down so that they didn't overburn the amount of energy that they had available to them. So guess what? We want to increase our metabolism and do really good things that promote super healthy so that we can get this excess fat and store energy storage out of our bodies. And a calorie is just not a calorie. So we do need to really rely on good cuts of meat that don't have hormones in them. We need to eat tons of really great green veggies and I mean copious amounts because we need the fiber as well. And then incorporate a smaller amount of starches and then add some really, really good fats to that. But here's the thing. You got to start somewhere because if you never take even one little step, you're never, ever going to get there. I mean, a journey always starts with the first step, right? So start somewhere, celebrate that win, keep doing it, and then add another step. Literally building upon a little successes after little successes. Micro successes build up to big successes. You know, these guys that are like billionaires, they didn't just overnight become this billionaire. You know, they created this company and worked it and got it to a certain size and then bought another one and did the same thing and then bought another one and did the same thing until they were able to get this leverage, right? And then, then we're able to become a billionaire because of all this massive success. But it honestly, most of the time came from small little successes over time. All right, so this is huge, and this is one of the other things I love to focus on, is toxins really plug up our cells. We are exposed to a ton of toxins every day. We live in a toxic world, but here's the thing. So what? We live in a toxic world. Yes, and there's a lot of things we can do about it. We can either let the toxins just build up, and then we put on more body fat to deal with and store these toxins away from our heart, brain, and liver, kidneys, and important organs. Or we can take steps to remove and reduce toxins. And it's huge. That is literally one of the best ways. If you have a ton of inflammation and you don't know and you can't find the source, it's probably toxins because guess what? You can't see them. It's not like, they're sitting on here it's not like that. It's not obvious. But we can have signs and symptoms, hormone imbalance, weight gain, diseases. All these different things can be clues that we have toxins that we need to get removed from our body. And because we can be bombarded by so many different ways and areas, our body can get to the point where it can't get rid of more than we're taking in each day. And then the tank starts to fill. The tank slowly starts to fill. starts to fill, and then guess what? Then one day you get in a car wreck, or your mom dies, or you have a tragedy or something like that, and then that stressor, emotional stressor, takes you over the edge, and then all of a sudden, it seems like all of a sudden, your health just completely starts going to crap. And honestly, it's been happening all along, little bit by bit. Here it comes. And then, you're just kind of maintaining, you're kind of, and then it takes that one thing, boom, and there you go. So we get toxins from a lot of things. Everything that our body could come in contact with, laundry soap, lotion, makeup, hair products, you really need to watch those products and make sure they're natural, because if they're not, they're building up toxins in your body. I tell you what, never, ever, ever buy another grocery store body lotion. Again, no. Go to a health food store, get something natural, or better yet, just put coconut oil on. That's natural as you can get, right? So environmental, things that we put on our body, dry cleaning, air fresheners can be a really, really toxic. Chemicals. They're spraying out in the yard. They're spraying crops if you live anywhere more farm, in a farming area. I know I live right near farms, and I'm sure they're spraying stuff all the time that ends up in my skin, in my hair, my body. And a lot of water is toxic. If you have a well, test your water. Find out what's in it to know if you really need to put some kind of filtration system on there. City water, yeah, they put so much chlorine because they got to kill the crap in it, literally. And, they're not filtering it as good as we need them to, because we're finding pharmaceuticals and all kinds of weird, crazy stuff in there. So really, city water is pretty scary. If you drink city water and you want to drink it out of your faucet, take it and have it tested just to make sure, because if you're adding things that are really super toxic to your body, well, guess what? You're going to be wondering in a few years or months or years why you're sick, and that could be a huge reason why. When we have emotional and mental issues that are constantly plaguing us, causing us stress, those things are going to add toxicity to our cells as well, because it's increasing inflammation, it's increasing the cortisol hormone, which, guess what, steals the building blocks that our other hormones need to be made. Because you can go for a while, long time, without testosterone, progesterone, estrogen. How long can you live without cortisol? Less than 24 hours. So guess what? If you're super stressed, your body's going to go, okay, estrogen, we're not going to make you for a week because we got to give it to this guy. And testosterone, we're not going to make you for 2 weeks because we got to give it to this guy. Remember, our body wants to keep us alive. And so constant major stress is really super hard. And there's so many things. Yes, we live in a stressful world. And I'm not saying that we're going to ever live in a stress-free world. But what we can do is really evaluate, become aware, and do things that will help us. It could be, you can see my kitty back there. It could be like taking adaptogenic herbs like ashwagandha is really good. Ginseng is another one. Maca is another one. These kind of herbs can help dampen the effect of stress on our bodies. Doing meditation, I'm a huge fan of meditation. I have meditated every day for 9 months. I have not missed a day yet. Super excited about that. That, when you relax your body, connect with your body, that can give you many hours worth of relief and help for your body. So really, really, really think about that. And it doesn't have to be, sit in lotus position, like a yogi. It can be just sit in a chair, close your eyes, and breathe for 5 minutes, a couple of times a day. But just knowing that doing something like that is going to give your body super good results and help you keep that stress under control. And then making decisions. Decisions can be really hard. Some people are good decision makers and some people are bad decision makers, or they just don't make decisions. And here's the thing. If you put off making decisions that you really need to make, you're adding more stress to your life. Just like put on your big boy pants or your big girl pants and get up and make some decisions so that you can get that stress out of your life. You can do it. I know you can. Get some help from your family members or from a friend if you need to, just for support. But just if you have some things that you need to make some decisions on, get the decision done, and you're going to feel so much better. And here's the thing. There's almost no right or wrong decision. It's just make the decision, and if it doesn't go quite like you want, we'll learn from it and make another decision. If it goes awesome, great. You just built a great, stronger muscle. But decision making is very important, and it's going to help decrease your stress. And then physical stress. That could be, if you have a super physical job, that can be a stressor on your body, and you may need extra nutrition to really help fortify. Make sure you're getting extra good rest. Hopefully there's no abuse physical kind of stuff going on, and if there is, well, that really needs to be taken care of in any way possible that you can safely. But here's the thing. We've got to reduce the amount of chemicals and things that we put in our body. And in any time that you can, detoxifying your body is going to be instrumental. We can detoxify by doing juice cleanses. My favorite is fasting. Water fasting has become a huge proponent of what I do, and that has really healed my body of so many things. So fasting can help reduce toxins. Sitting in the sauna can reduce toxins. Exercising to a sweat can reduce toxins. Enemas can reduce toxins. Liver cleanses, gallbladder flushes, kidney cleanses, those can all help as well. And then I also have a really great program that is a cellular detox. Phenomenal. Will pull toxins literally from outside of your cells and take them completely all the way outside of your body. Because here's another thing that maybe you did or didn't know. We inherit a lot of toxins from our mothers. That's just, we're in her body, we're in her womb. We're being created from everything that she can provide to us. And in that process, as she breaks down part of her body to give to you, sometimes mercury comes out with it because she had mercury fillings in her mouth, if she did. Lead, if she had lead, a lot of our parents were in the lead generation, lead paint, leaded gas. That lead will, as her bone remodels to give you the building blocks for your bones, guess what? You're going to get some of that lead. And today, there are children literally every day born with over 200 toxins present in their body at the time of birth. So we're starting our kids out up here now, not even down here anymore. They're starting out up here, and then, if they eat McDonald's and eat crap, it doesn't take as long for our kids to get sick, get diseases, and get really inflamed as it took us, right? We're like the first generation that is going to outlive our kids unless something big happens. And that's frightening. Who wants to outlive your kid? Yuck, no. That's not the way it's supposed to be, right? No, not at all. So we have to take steps every day to reduce and remove toxins. So anyway, I am putting together a 5-week Resolve Weight Loss Resistance live online course. And it's basically very similar to what I talked about tonight, but taking it in depth and breaking it down and giving you the steps that you need so that you can actually build a super healthy body. And the course is going to start April 4th. The thing that's great is it's online, so you can do it from anywhere, and you can do it with the group, or you can do it at your own pace, either way. But I'm super excited about it because it's close to my heart. It's the things that I exactly did and my clients are doing to get amazing results. And I want those results for you. So if you are interested, you can either send me an email, info@kathyketterling.com, or you can message me on Facebook. Either way, but let me know that you're interested, and I can give you some more information about this 5-week online class, because it's going to be in-depth, it's going to be amazing, and it's going to be everything broken down so that you understand the ketogenic diet inside and out, so that you really understand the toxic burden and the load that we're dealing with and how to deal with it. and how to really use some really good mindset tools to shift the health of your body and shift your life in a positive direction. So I hope you had as much fun tonight as I did. I am super excited that you joined me. So have a lovely, amazing night, and I look forward to talking to you soon.